26 centuries ago, down south of France, a city was created. The most ancient city in the whole of France. Of course, 26 centuries ago, it was the time of the Greeks. They were ruling over the Mediterranean Sea, opening counters in order to trade. And one specific group of Greeks were the Phocaeans. The people from Phocaea were living on a barren land, very inconvenient, very narrow, so quite naturally, the people turned to the sea. Some were fishing, others were building boats. We had a lot of Phocaean trading, and some even turned to piracy. One day, one of those boats from Phocaea was sailing along the coast of Gaul. At one point, they saw a gap between the rocks on the seashore. It looked a bit like an entrance, and they decided to venture in there and discover pioneers of new lands. They entered a natural harbor, very deep, U-shaped, very narrow. It was the Lassi Dome. It was beautiful, so quiet in there. This place was very well sheltered by 3 little hills at the bottom of the Lassi Dome. They decided to anchor there and have a look around. They noticed that there were many pine trees, quite a few olive trees too, and they were welcomed by a concert of cicadas. This place was exactly like Phocaea. No big difference really. The sun, was so scorching. It was so hot. Exactly like home. The water was crystal clear. It was a beautiful place. Actually, the perfect place to open a new counter. So they went back home and told beautiful tales of that place to the people of Phocaea. So wonderful tales that the king decided to send 2 other ships to this fantastic place. Those had a mission. They had to open a counter. Each ship had a captain, Simos and Protis. Off they went through the Aegean Sea and then the Mediterranean Sea again, and they arrived nearby. They soon noticed this gap between the rocks on the seashore. They entered and discovered that fantastic place. It was exactly like they had been told. So they landed there and started to venture around, having a look, see if there were anyone settled down there already, or any source maybe. They need water. You always need water. There were actually 3 springs arriving, ending up in that Lassi Dome. Fantastic place, exactly what they needed. So, after a few hours, they noticed a group of men coming down the hill. Oh, they were not looking like Greeks at all. No, those men had long hair. They were bearded, most of them, and the way they were dressed, the Greek thinks that those men were probably Celts. They met each other, they were greeted quite kindly, and they succeeded to understand each other. Like today, they were probably talking with their hands. They were invited to follow the Celts up the hill. And once they arrived up there, they saw that there was a village settled down here, a tribe of Segobridge, a round circle of little huts, And in the middle there, the whole population of the village was gathered around a huge bonfire. They seemed to enjoy a pretty good time. There was food, there was drink. Some of them were playing music, some were singing, and there were some dancers too. Quite a special day, most probably. So, they were invited to sit together with the group and to enjoy the meal, to enjoy the moment. That's what they did. After a while, a tall man came to them. He was quite old, a very long white beard, a huge torque around his neck, and he seemed to be quite important. He introduced himself. He was King Nanus, the king of the tribe. He explained that they arrived on the perfect day, because that day was a day of celebration. That day was the wedding day of his daughter, Gyptis. So they were invited to keep on enjoying the party. Festivities were really running high when, after some time, a lovely and beautiful woman came out of a hut. She had long blonde hair, flowers in her hair, and she was holding a cup. It was a silver cup, quite a special one. No one else had such a cup around. So she was holding it very ceremoniously and was walking head up towards her dad. King Nanus poured some water into the cup, and then Gyptis turned around, had a look at the party, and then she started walking again. This time she went straight towards the Greeks. Not a look to the pretenders, not a look to the family here. She went straight towards them and stopped just in front of Protis. She gave him her cup, and Protis drank from it. She looked so very happy. She took his hand and brought him to King Nanus. King Nanus explained that Gyptis, on her wedding day, was to choose a husband by offering this cup of water. He took Gyptis' hand and Protis' hand and tied them together. He said that now, as his son-in-law, he was granted the land. King Nanus gave the land where the Greeks had landed, had set foot earlier, down the hill, on the Lassi Dome. Protis was allowed to build a city there, to open a counter, to settle down there. This was his land. And this is how Massalia was created. From the union of a man and a woman, the union of a Celtic culture and a Greek culture, and it has never ended. Till today, Marseille is a huge melting pot, still mixing a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people. Massalia is now Marseille, the most ancient city in France.